Welcome. The question on everybody's mind in Dubai at the moment seems to be, where is the Dubai property market heading? This presentation will try to answer three questions. Number one, where is the property market heading in Dubai? Number two, how does it differ by different areas? And perhaps most interesting for you is, how is your area affected? It's important to keep in mind that over the last few years, the Dubai property market has truly been booming. We're now seeing year-on-year growth, which has been at record levels, even globally, and prices in Dubai are back once again at all-time high levels. For this very reason, the Dubai government has put in place several measures to curb the growth to more sustainable levels, to avoid a second bust. For instance, lowering the amount of flipping by increasing the transaction fees. Now this is starting to take effect. If you look at the number of transactions this year compared to the year earlier, they're substantially down. So if you look at, for instance, June to August period 2013, the number of transactions were about 5,300. Similar period for 2014, the number of transactions is around 3,500, so down by about a third. Interestingly, this is something that has been experienced across Dubai. Whether you look at the Dubai Marina, or if you look at downtown, or the Palm, all of these areas are similarly affected by a substantially less amount of transactions compared to last year. Now, what about the prices, you might ask? Dubai has been, for the last few years, performing tremendously well. So here you see the 3-year average up until May 2014. Most areas have experienced of 20% or even higher growth. Certain areas, such as the Greens and Arabian Ranches, have experienced even higher growth of around 30% a year, which is just outstanding. Now the picture is slightly different if you look at what has happened over the last 3 months. So if you look at the performance June to August 2014 versus March until May 2014, the areas that previously were the quickest in growth are now starting to show early signs of price correction. For instance, the Arabian Ranches is now, compared to 3 months earlier, down by about 4% on average. If you're wondering what is happening in your area, I advise you to go into our website, endors.me, where we have developed a tool for you. So if you go here, endors.me, and you click on this investor button up here, it'll take you to our map view over Dubai and different areas. So what this contains is, first of all, the different areas of Dubai, Arabian Ranches, downtown, the Palm, Marina, and the likes. What we have in this is a table built of two components. Number one, the past transaction data showing how have prices developed, and that's thankfully available due to the transparency of the Dubai Land Department continuously publishing to the public data on transactions in Dubai. We have just aggregated it here in order to put it into areas. Secondly, you have also current levels based on current listings in Dubai. I'll get back to that in a second. So if you focus on a certain area, for instance, Arabian Ranches, you can see here over the highlighted area that, as mentioned before, over the last 3 months, the actual prices from transactions per square footage are down about 4% compared to earlier. Looking over a 12-month period, so a year before, it's still up by about 9%. And if you look over a 3-year average, so the average annual return, it's about 25%. So very good, of course. Secondly, if you were to look at where are prices today, we look at current listings. So this is asking prices. So it's not final prices, but what people are asking in order to sell at the moment, which you can see in the buy column per square foot and how that deviates within Dubai. Similarly, if you were to look at renting, that will differ within Dubai, of course, depending on the areas. And if you're thinking about buying, you might be wondering, what am I getting back in rent compared to what I'm buying? And that's why we're calculating in the yield column over here. But it's important to keep in mind, if you buy a property, you're not only getting the rent, you're also signing up for certain charges. And that is the service charges, which also vary depending on areas, where usually villa areas have lower and high rises with luxury compartments have higher service charges. So to give a more fair view of that, we look at the rent that you could be getting per square foot, less the service charges, compared to your buying price, and we then end up with a yield for that area. Now, if you're wondering, if I were to buy something where I'm renting today, how many years of annual rent would that take? That's presented here in the years column. So for instance, if you live in, I don't know, Jumeirah beach residence, on average it would take about 20 years of current rent to buy yourself out rather than keep on renting. If you're curious on how this differs between different areas, so for instance, if I look at JBR, it's overall a pretty homogeneous group, but I mean, you know there's different communities, the Amvaj, the Bahar, the Murjan, the Rimal, and the likes. You can see how they differ in asking prices for buy and rent. And also interestingly, as mentioned before, thanks to Dubai Land Department, you also have data on how they have performed at communal levels over the past few years. So the bottom line is, if you're curious over Dubai and the property price market, go into endorse.me and visit our site, the investor map. Thank you.